Hello everyone, this is Joker, or Commander Megan, but for this one, Joker works better. So yeah, welcome to my channel, and I want to weigh in a little bit on the Meta Watch and the Harlequins being overpowered. I have the old article here, well, old. It's not new, it's not old, it's in between, it's a precursor to what will be happening. And yeah, let's first watch it through a little bit quickly. They talk about Adepticon, that the Codex had a massive win rate. And I am not sure if the win rate is including mirror matches or not. Let's see. Okay, I don't see the win rate here, but I have heard a win rate of 75% plus. At least 65 or up is already insane, and that is including mirror matches. So 75 and up, even excluding mirror matches, that is an insane high win ratio. Win ratio should preferably be around 45% maximum. That means you got a chance to win, you got a chance to lose. If everything is all balanced, it should all be around 33%, give or take, 27%. But then it should be for all codex, and I'm not sure if that math really adds up, but it's, in this case, what I mean about Spirit. 65, 75, or 80%. Yeah, that's just insane. And I'm coming from someone who plays Harlequins from the moment that they started as a standalone codex. One of the worst battles I fought was with the old codex, was playing with only 1,750 points versus a 2,500 points. So basically 750 points in the minus, and I tabled my opponent. That was the old codex, so that is not much to do with the current one, but it shows that Harlequins were always strong. It was that battle that made me put them aside, and yeah, at least for the club, from a local gaming store. Now I have to say, most of my opponents there are not as competitive, underlaid as I am. Not that I am a top table player, but I'm not bad either. I make too many mistakes to be a top table player, but I know and I understand the game in general better than those of that local gaming store. And the win rate for me was so high, and the way it was no longer actually fun playing. With the old codex, basically, I've only lost 3 games in over 30 games. 2 times against Dark Eldar, and I forgot the other one. But that's the old codex, and now we have the new codex. I was really hyped about the new codex. Finally, they fixed one of the most glaring flaws in the Harlequins, making Void Weavers at least squadrons, because 3 at the maximum is too little to bring, especially in the current meta and the meta to come. And therein we come to a problem. Void Weavers are way overpowered for their points. I have to say, for their points. People just want to nerf them back to 3. No, that's a knee-jerk reaction. Don't do a knee-jerk reaction. Some abilities not working on them. Okay, I can come to that. For example, the lights, or better say the Mirror Architect one. if that would only be core or infantry, core and infantry basically, for the Mirror Architect, I would say that is a fair deal. It's not so much that light is too strong, because it doesn't have the highest potential, but it is the easiest to play. And since you can, without a doubt, take 9 Void Weavers and take, well, let's see, there's a list. Here we have a list with 9 Void Weavers, 4 Star Weavers, and 6 troops. So if he wanted, he could go for 5 troops in Star Weavers, all of them, and still have a Solitaire, still have... Basically, the only thing this list doesn't have are the bikes. But this list has everything. 6 troops, 4 transports, 9 Void Weavers. With the new codex that I've played with all boats combined, is 9 at the maximum. Not even, yeah. Well, no. I have only 5 Void Weavers at the moment because I couldn't get a 6th one. But so I have 8 boats in total. And bikes. So even I have basically, within the points limit, everything that I want. I brought extra characters because I had points to spare. Of course, I am limited to the models that I have, and I am not an airbrush guy. I don't mind airbrushing, but airrushing, yeah, I don't like meta chasers. They break armies, and that's a problem as well. But maybe that's a topic for another video. Taking this army as example, it's a light, say that right? Yeah, the light one. It has the nasty Death Jester, but that's basically an assassin. Okay, maybe it's a little bit too cheap for the combination, but to say that is too strong, it's the only assassin we have. No, that's not true. It's only ranged assassin we have. It's the only sniping unit, and remember, Harlequins should be an elite army. I say should because if you can bring 30 guys to the table and then more, you're going past the point of being elite. I mean, I can do the same with my sisters, and my sisters won't be as good with the same numbers. And that's the problem. Few abilities might be too strong. I'm not going to say light is too strong in itself, but Mirror Architect, it should be only on core and infantry. That will help a lot. But not only that. As I said, you can take everything you want and then some. Void Weavers are only 270 for 3. Even in 1k you can bring 9. And yeah, I'm going on side to side tangent here, but hey. Some people say we'll need to bring back the datasheet to 1 or 2. No. 1 or 2 I don't mind personally, but I only want to field 6 at a maximum of Void Weavers. But that's me. And the game is more than about what I want. Because, hey, give me this army. And finally I can play on the big table. Probably, maybe. I probably won't win because another Harlequin player would be better than I am, but that's not fun. I have played 4 games now and tabled my opponent 3 times. One time my opponent almost tabled me, but still I won by a large margin. It was 45 points for him and 85 for me when we stopped. That was turn 3, I believe. And the other game stopped at turn 3 as well because my opponent was gone. So basically the game where I got almost tabled was the most interesting game to play. It reminded me why I put the army back on the shelf for a long time. And I love this army. I love it so much. So yeah, Void Weavers. Make them 125 with the Prism Cannon. Sounds easy, but I quite literally think that is the only viable solution to nerf them and some abilities. Like Mirror Architect no longer working on them. I don't mind if they get the squadron but single unit treatment. Or like I said, the armature treatment. Meaning you buy them as a squadron from 1 to 3, but once you set them up, they will become single units. That way, Mirror Architect will be less effective. You can no longer string out. Blade Storm will no longer be effective on them as much. Stuff like that. You limited abilities because you need to be closer or a few units. But not only that. If one explodes and you are too close, which you want to be with Mirror Architect, it will be meaning a lot more damage. But that is speculating. In the end, GW will do what GW do. But it is very important to note. Don't do knee-jerk reactions. With that I mean, if you don't like the army, nerf them until they're bad. In the end, the game should be fun for all of us. And if you wish your opponent that their army sucks, remember, it can be your army next. I want to have all the armies to be good. There will always be some army that will be better, and it will never be perfect. We need to remember that. But, for example, if Harlequins trump Tau, but Tau trump Guard, but Guard trump Custodes, and Custodes trump Harlequins, but just by a margin, all of them, it means you will be having an uphill battle if you play against your nemesis, but you still have a chance to win. It should not be like, oh, you're playing that army. Good luck in your next game. Let's have a beer. That's not fun. And that works both ways. If you nerf an army, that in the way that some in the community are now talking about, basically making Harlequins one of the worst armies. Yeah, your army can be next. Then, yeah, it's not bad that an army is good or powerful, but it's only bad when it's the only army that's good and powerful. I mean, if everything is dialed up to 120, everything is just 100%. That's something to remember. So, yeah. There's also the thing with Harlequins. They are the anti-meta. The whole meta everywhere where I play, with a few exemptions there, it's all elite armies. Harlequins are basically an elite army that is good at killing other elite armies. I'd rather play against Custodes than a horde of Guard. With my Harlequins, that is, obviously. Why? Because all those last guns will shoot the out of me and I will not be able to do enough damage back. That is basically what they are saying. And Guard is one of the worst armies, but then we have Tau. I'd rather face off broadsides and hammerheads than a lot of fire warriors. Because the meta is built around destroying strong, tough units. And that is now just what Harlequins are in basically defeating. Defeating that army and taking that kind of punishment. Harlequins don't care if you shoot a las cannon. They prefer it even. I mean, a las cannon to a Harlequin is equally as deadly as a las gun. But for one las cannon, how many las guns can you take? For 3 las cannons, how many las guns can you take? For 1 multi-melter, how many bolters can you take? Flamers. Downside of flamers, you need to be really close. My armatures will do a lot more damage against Harlequins, or the adventure Gatling cannon, talking knights, than, for example, the rapid fire battle cannon. Let alone the heat lenses and stuff like that. But most people bring Space Marine killers, tank killers, even though there are not much tanks on the table anymore, but high damage output. High damage output is something that Harlequins can shrug off much more easily than a lot of low damage output. So basically, you need anti-horde to destroy this elite army. But nobody plays horde. So they will be top of the king. I completely butchered that. But you know what I mean. They will be king of the hill. Because they are an elite army that will need anti-horde shooting to take down. And every army these days are basically elite armies. And Harlequins can take down elite armies. They are the anti-meta. They're the meta breaker, as they have shown. That's not because the army is that good. It is that they are, like I said, they are the opposite of what every list is built of. True, the army is too good. Every battle that I've now played, it feels like I have at least 500 points more than my opponent. So increase the Void Weavers to 125. Let's make a quick calculation. 9 times 35 points. That is over 300 points that it will cost extra. I'm down for that. That means that feels that my army is 300 points too much at the minimum for my opponent. And 300 is a lot. And it is more than 300 points. It's 315 at this point with my calculation. But I keep in mind that some people say 120 is enough. So basically my army is less, but even my army feels like it's 300 points so much. Let alone if you bring 9 Void Weavers, if you're that guy, the Air Rush guy, the Meta Chaser. So yeah, Harlequins need to be brought down. But not just brought down, they need to be brought on level. Because if you only bring it down, which army is next? And how will the new meta be when the new Tyranids hit? Or when the new Knights and Chaos Knights hit, if that means that Harlequins can no longer play in a tournament, is that fair? Because you got stumped a little bit for, what is it, 2 months? Then you get stumped by another